What up, squad? D20 here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about Magic ManaStrike, a new game from Wizards of the Coast based on the beloved classic Magic the Gathering card game. Magic ManaStrike is a foray into the mobile realm that has a lot of trappings of games, similar games that are already out there, but wrapped in that nice Magic card aesthetic that we all know and love. You get free stuff in the shop twice a day. Of course, you can always get a couple more things if you want to shell out a couple dollars, but I find the free-to-play rewards thus far to be quite ample, and don't feel ripped off or feel too pay-to-win at this point. You can join a clan, request and give cards, which, boosts you up in its own way, adds a nice sense of community. There's 5 different planeswalkers in the beginning that you can choose from, one of each of the 5 primary mana colors. Red seems quite strong. They all seem to have their good and bad parts. I myself am focusing a little more on black, the Liliana deck, just because I'm a big fan. You can see here we have the level up system, so I've collected 4 copies of this card through free packs or from the shop or what have you. Now I'm able to upgrade it, giving it a little buff to its stats. So though while everyone is essentially playing with the same cards, the power level of those individual cards can vary based on how far along the player is. So while I did spend a little time playing Crash Royale, another mobile game very similar in nature to Magic ManaStrike, I've never really been particularly good at it. But I'm really enjoying this game, so I figured I'd do a little gameplay here, just to give you my 2 cents. And again, this is coming from a very new player who's not very good, but hopefully I have a couple insights that might help any up-and-coming mages get the edge that they need. So here we are in a Lily versus Lily matchup. You can see you have your main guardian on each side, and then your 2 little guardians. So essentially there's like 2 lanes, the upper lane and the bottom lane. We can see our opponent starts out strong here with a bunch of smaller minions, which do a little damage to my guardian, and I'm a little slow. I was able to use an AoE spell there to just spell those little guys, sent some of my own little guys in just to get destroyed. Followed up with Soul of Innistrad. Now, Soul of Innistrad is an interesting character, and it starts out as this little dude, then he dies, then he comes back as this slightly bigger dude, and he dies. But then he comes back as this big old dude who, while he is getting hit by 3 separate sources here, is pretty sturdy and does do a decent amount of damage. I like to combine the Soul of Innistrad with the Howling Golem you see in the back there, which in retrospect was not very good placement for him. But the Golem moves forward slowly but steadily with high HP and high attack, so he acts as a good buffer to send in a lot of smaller troops in behind when you're making a push on an enemy guardian. A good general rule of thumb is that if you have a single strong character that doesn't have AoE attacks, it's good to summon a bunch of smaller characters to kind of swarm him and do the damage. If he has it, however, if the guy you're putting your little guys on does have an AoE attack, it's going to be bad news. He's going to rip through those little summons, no problem, and you're going to have wasted your mana. You're going to be on the back foot. So you can see here, I also summoned my Liliana Planeswalker. Each deck has a Planeswalker that you can summon for no mana on a cooldown. And, they all have varying stats. Liliana attacks from a distance, and she summons zombies occasionally, which zombies are a little underpowered, pretty much get knocked down in one hit, but it is nice to have the extra mana on the board. So we can see at this point the game is stalled out a little bit. I have some attackers, I have the board control as you might say, but opponent definitely has a hand control. As we can tell, he's got a lot more mana saved up at this point. I'm still keeping myself under 5, throwing out small mobs, trying to make the push stick, but he's just got the correct answers for me, and being on the back foot mana wise, it's hard to really press the attack the way you want it to go. AoE spells, you can see there I just threw a comment down, are really great for clearing out small mobs, and occasionally you can use them to get the little bit of extra damage on an enemy guardian, but generally I would keep them in your back pocket as the emergency spell to deal with a lot of mobs. And if you're in black, while I am running both the Meteor and Circle of Pain, which you can see on the field there, slows enemies and does damage to them. So that's actually if you're in black, I find Circle of Pain to be a much more effective AoE minion removal than the bomb myself. The difference being the bomb is available in any deck. You can see it's got the bronze in the corner, and not a colored number. Colored numbers correspond to decks of that color: the red deck, the black deck, the blue deck, and the bronze colors are cards that can go in any deck. So leveling up your bronze cards is not a bad idea, because though you know those cards are going to be applicable in multiple decks, whether you go black, decide to go blue, go white, decide to go red, whatever you might have, those core cards being powered up is not a bad call. So while I did not win that game, I felt I just wanted to give you a little example there of what the combat looks like. Another interesting feature the game has is a draft feature, also a sealed feature, where you pick the cards you want, you pick a card, and then you choose the card that goes to your opponent. You choose a Planeswalker, also randomly assigned, and play a game based on that. It's pretty interesting, it's pretty innovative, and it has something a little different that I don't see in a lot of games of this type, and I'm really glad to see being in a Magic property to bring along some of that draft, the RNG, the we're on even footing, and it's nothing but skill and luck of the draw to see who comes out ahead. So I'm very happy to see that. And overall, it's a really fun game, and I encourage you to check it out. Check back here for some more gameplay videos as I get a little bit better. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.